So in today's lecture we will talk about what we call the probability. Shall we start now? No? Okay. So last time we discussed the counting of the sample space size. We talk about when we have a sample space, how to know how many elements I have in an experiment, how many elements I have in my sample space. Today we're gonna use this to count what we call the probability. Probability اللي هو الاحتمال. So the probability of event A to happen is the sum of the weight of all sample points in A. يعني how many times the A event gonna happen? This is the probability of A. Notice that the probability of any event, we call it PA, is a number between 0 and 1. It lies between 0 and 1. يعني it cannot be negative. It's greater than or equal to 0. And it should be less than 1. يعني it's a point something. It cannot be 2, it cannot be 3. It's a number between 0 and 1. Notice that the impossible probability, the probability of the phi is 0. يعني probability of something impossible to happen. Probability of S اللي هو sample space is equal to 1, which is a certain to happen probability. The probability we have is between the 0 and 1. At 1 it's impossible, and at 1 it is a certain to happen thing. Okay, so at 1 probability of S is equal to 1, at the phi it is a 0. Now if we have A1 is an event, A2 is an event, A3 is an event, sequence of mutually exclusive event. Do you remember what does mutually exclusive mean from last time? What does mutually exclusive mean? What does it mean? Disjoint. It means they are disjoint. يعني nothing in common between them. يعني if I intersect AI with AJ, this equal to phi. يعني nothing in common between all of them. Then the probability of A1 union A2 union A3 is the probability of A1, probability of A2, probability of A3 plus in between them. Notice if they are not disjoint, it is a different case. You will see that if they are not disjoint, not totally disjoint, we have a different case. Only in disjoint case we have that we can add the probability of each one of them. Now for an example, you remember the example of flipping a coin. In the example of flipping a coin, we have the result is a head or tail. صح ولا لا? What's the probability to get a head? What's the probability to get a head? No, it's not 2. I got head or tail. My sample space has 2 elements. One of them is the head, so the probability of getting a head is 1 over 2. نص صح ولا لا؟ يعني نص. It makes sense. الhead نص والtail نص. The head happen in one time or in one way, and the overall is a 2. So the probability of an event A is equal to the number of the possibility that A happen على number of the sample space. This is the rule I'm using here. Probability that event A happen is the number of the outcomes of A divided by the number of the sample space that we have with all the outcomes means. Now in tossing a die, the outcomes are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. What's the probability that we get even number when we toss a die? What do you think? The overall is 6. Getting an even is 2, 4, 6. يعني I have 3 outcomes to get the even, so it's 3 over 6 اللي هو half. يعني نص نص صح ولا لا؟ لأن ال probability of odd is what? Probability of odd is what again? 3 over 6, which is the half. طيب, if I say for you the probability of getting number 1 or number 3, What's the probability to get 1 or 3? How many outcomes in this event? 2. The overall is what? 6. So 2 over 6 here. 2 over 6. 2 outcomes عندي 1 or 3 في الست هذه في الايفنت اللي عندي اياه. So 2 over 6 which is a third here. Okay. Let's see more examples here. We have a balanced coin. إيش يعني balanced coin؟ يعني they happen in the same the happening of the head and the happening of the tail are equal. What's the probability that at least one head occur? Now I'm tossing a coin twice here. I'm tossing a coin 2 times. What's the probability that at least one head occurs? Probability that one head occurs. So when I'm tossing it twice, we know that the outcomes are head and tail, again head and tail, again head and tail. So outcomes that we have is head, 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 tail, tail, head, tail, tail. At least one head happen. At least one head. At least one head يعني على الأقل واحد. Okay. على الأقل one head. So one head at least معناها يا الاثنين head يا إما head and tail يا إما tail and head. How many cases we have for at least one head? We have actually 3 cases. 3 cases and overall we have 4. So the result is 3 over 4 actually. It's a 3 over 4. Okay? Is it clear why it is a 3 over 4? Okay, بالضبط. Now one more example here. We have a die loaded in such a way that the even number is twice likely to occur as an odd number. So what's going on here? The thing is the die is loaded in a special way. In this special way, the even number happen double the odd number. Okay? So usually the outcomes that we have here are the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Those are the outcomes that I have. If 1 happen in W way, the 2 will happen in 2W way. The 3 will happen in W way. The 4 will happen in 2W way. The 5 happen in W. The 6 will happen in 2W. This what does it mean that the even number happen twice likely as the odd number. يعني حظ ال even number. You can hear me, the others? I don't think I have a problem in the network. Everything is okay from my side. So the thing is that the even number happen twice likely more than the odd number. So if number 1 happen in W ways, the 2 will happen in 2W. W, 2W, W, 2W. If you add them all, the result is 9W we have. We have 9W. صح? We have 9 outcomes now, not 6 anymore. لأن الإيفن happen twice likely than the odd, so the outcomes are 9 here. This is the first thing. The question here, if E is even, that then a number less than 4 occurs on a single toss, find me the probability of this E. E is even, that a number less than 4. Less than 4, what do I have? I have 1, I have 2, and I have 3. So my event has the outcomes 1, 2, and 3. What's the probability of 1? It happened in one way out of 9 ways, so it is 1 over 9. What's the probability that 2 happen? The 2 now even, so it happened in 2 ways out of 9 ways, so it is 2 over 9. The 3 is odd, so it happened in 1 time over 9 times, so 1 over 9. Add 1 over 9, 2 over 9, and 1 over 9, the result is 4 over 9. Okay? Again, in my experiment, the die is loaded in a special way. It is not a usual die. Okay? Usually the die has 6 outcomes, but this die, the even numbers happen twice likely more than the odd numbers. So if the odd number happen in one way, the even number will happen in 2 ways. The total is 9. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. The total is 9 outcomes we have. Okay? Now the event here is getting a number less than 4. Getting a number less than 4 means I get 1 or 2 and 3. The 1 happened in 1 over 9. The 2 happened in 2 times over 9. The 3 happened in 1 over 9. The overall is 4 over 9. Why we add? Because they are disjoint, we can change this to addition. Not 3 over 9. I'm talking about how many times the 3 will happen. ما أتكلم عن 3 as a number. How many times the 3 will happen? 1 time. How many times the 2 will happen? 2 times out of 9 times. Okay? So the 3 happen in just one option we have for the 3 to happen. Okay, the probability means how many times it's gonna happen. Okay. One more example, the same question, the same die that we have loaded in such a way that even number is twice as likely to occur than the odd number. Now the A is the event that an even number turns up, and B the event that a number. Now here we have the A that event to get an even number, and B that we get a number divisible by 3. Can you see? We have 2 events here. The event A get even. The event B divisible by 3. Again, remember that my numbers are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 happen in 1 time, 2W, 1W, 2W, 1W, 2W, and the total is 9W. We have 9 occurrence, 9 options here. So A, get an even number. What do I have in my A? Can you tell me? Get an even number. What do I have? Get number 2. I can get number 4 or number 6. بالضبط. B, get a number divisible by 3. Number divisible by 3. What are the numbers divisible by 3 that I have in my die? The 3 and the 6. The question is, let A be the event that this, B is that. Find me probability of A union B, probability of A intersect B. What is A union B? You remember we talk about the union. What's A union B? It is 2, 3, 4, and 6. What's A intersect B? Just the 6. So probability of the union, it's a probability of 2 اللي هي 2 على 9. Probability of 3 اللي هي 1 over 9. Probability of 4 2 over 9. Probability of 6 2 over 9 overall it is 7 over 9. Probability of the intersection is just the probability of 6 اللي هو أساسا 2 over 9. Okay, clear now? But without repetition طبعا. When we find the union, we find it without repetition. Now, The probability of the event, now we know that. Probability of an event, it is just n, small n, divided by its capital N, اللي هي n of A, how many I have in A, divided by how many I have in S. خلاص, we know that. We have a statistic class for engineers consists of 5 industrial, okay, 10 mechanical, and 10 electrical, and 8 civil engineering students. Okay, I have a class has 25 industrial, 10 mechanical, 10 electrical, and 8 civil engineers. So in all I have 25 and 10 and 10 and 8. So in all I have 53 students. In all I have 53 students. If a person is randomly selected, ايش يعني ال probability؟ يعني الاحتمالات. Okay, so person is randomly selected. I just choose a person. Okay, find the probability that the one I choose, the student that we choose, is industrial engineering major. How many industrial I have? 25. And overall, how many I have? 53, صح? So it is 53 over 25 over 53. 53 it is, okay? So 25 over 53. 25 industrial divided by the total, which is 53. This is the answer. You simplify it. You want just to leave it like this. You want to divide by the calculator and write me the answer as a decimal. This is up to you. Okay? No. We choose one. We choose one. That's right. But I'm talking about the option to choose that this one gonna be industrial. So it is how many industrial we have divided industrial عندي. أنا عندي 25. In B, what's the probability that a civil engineering or شايفين ال or? What is the or? What is the or? It's the union. It's the union معناها لو and كانت intersection. That a civil engineering or an electrical engineering, if or they are separated, so we can say civil, how many I have? I have 8. Electrical, how many I have? I have 10. So 8 plus 10 على total 53 equal to 18 over 53. لو and it's different بس قال لي or, so it's a union and they are disjoint. ما في student راح يكون civil و at the same time electrical, صح? So disjoint, so we can change this to a sum here. Okay, now those are some rules that we have. In general, the union can change to plus if they are mutually exclusive. صح ولا لا? This is what we said at the beginning. In general, it's not the case. In general, you have an intersection between your A and your B. In this case, it is the probability of A plus probability of B minus the probability of the intersection. Why minus the probability of the intersection? Because the intersection is repeated 2 times in the count, in the probability. So we delete one of them by subtracting probability of A intersect B here. So in general, probability the union is probability the first plus probability the second No problem about that time. You can attend whenever you want. When I'm taking the attendance, let me know. Okay? When I take the attendance, let me know. So it's a probability A, B minus the intersection. If they are mutually exclusive, we don't have an intersection at all. So we can just delete this part. It is probability A directly plus probability of B. Now if A1 to AN, we already mentioned that one, they are all mutually exclusive, then the probability of the union is the addition. Okay, if A1 if you have an intersection, this is the rule, we subtract the intersection. If we don't have an intersection, this is the rule. Okay, no intersection, this is the rule. If we have intersection, we have an extra part here. If A1 A2 partition of S، ايش يعني partition؟ يعني it cuts S، تجزيء يعني. Okay, this is my S, this is A1 A2 A3 till we reach AN. Then the probability of A1 البارتيشن معناها they partition S and they are disjoint, nothing in common in between them. So the probability of the union is probability A1, probability A2, probability AN, which equal to probability S, and we know that this equal to 1. Okay. Now additive rule, you know, this is something we know. Now if we have 3 events, not only 2, I have 3 events. I have A, I have B, and also I have a C. Probability of A union B union C is a probability A plus probability B plus probability C, and they are not disjoint. My A intersect B minus probability A intersect C minus probability B plus probability the intersection of 3 of them. We're using. Now if I have A and I have A complement which completes A, okay, then the probability A plus probability the complement equal to the probability S, which is 1. And this is very important because once I have a probability the A, I can find that the probability of the complement is 1 minus the probability of A. صح ولا لا؟ If probability A plus probability the complement equal to 1, then probability the complement is 1 minus probability of A. Then also we have the probability of A is 1 minus probability of A complement also. Okay, very important because once I have probability of one of them, I can find the probability of the second one. Now here we have the probability of A intersect B complement. It's probability A minus probability of the intersection. Again, this is a helpful thing. If this is my B, this is my A intersect B complement is this part. صح ولا لا؟ A intersect مكملة B is this part I'm shading here. Okay, then probability of A intersect B complement is nothing but probability A مشيول منها الجزء هذا اللي هو الانترسكشن. So it's a probability A minus the probability of the intersection of A and the B. Okay, you need to memorize these rules because we use them. Any question? Any question before I proceed? Okay. Here in this example, what is the probability of getting a total 7 or 11 when a pair of fair dice is tossed? Fair dice يعني مضبوط، ها؟ يعني loaded in a good way. What first you mean, Juman? If you have any questions, specify. In this example, the rules, you mean this one here, the union of 3? It's a rule. If you have a union of A, B, and C, it's the probability of the first, probability of the second, probability of the third, minus probability of the intersection plus probability of the intersection of all of them. Okay? It's a rule. You need to memorize it. We apply this one in case we have the 3 events. In this example now, what's the probability of getting a total 7 or 11 or ننتبه ان عندنا or يعني عندنا union هنا when a pair of fair dice معناها مضبوطة يعني it's loaded in a good way. Tossed. I have 2 dice here. I'm tossing a 2 dice. What are the outcomes I have? What do you think? Do you remember? The multiplication rule is applied here. I'm tossing a pair of dice. The outcomes are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. From each one of here, again, I'm gonna have numbers from 1 to 6. The outcome 6 the first time, 6 in the second time. Overall, I have a 36 outcomes. صح ولا لا? So we can say that n of s equal to 36 اللي هي الكابيتال N. يعني كم عندي في ال overall? In the overall thing I have a 36. مهم يكون عندي size of the sample space بالضبط. What's the probability to get a 7 or 11? Get 7, I'm gonna call it A. Total 7. And B, get 11. يعني total 11. يعني لما أجمع. Later I'm gonna give an example. Stay with me in this example, please. Later I'm gonna give you example of a union of 3. Okay? Event A is get a total 7. The event B is getting a total 11. Okay? To get a total 7 يعني في المرة الأولى والمرة الثانية when we add we get a 7. If I get a 1 and a 6 the total is 7. If I got a 2 and a 5 the total is 7. If I got a 3 and a 4 the total is 7. Then again if I got a 4 and 3, if I got a 5 and 2, if I got a 6 and 1, do I have any other option to get a total 7 when I throw the dice here, when I toss a die? Huh? Do I have any other option here? Can you get me here? I'm talking about the total when I'm throwing or tossing my die. I want the total to be 7. وننتبه إن إحنا عندنا numbers from 1 to 6. ما عندي شيء ثاني to get 7. So it is like 1 and 6, 6 and 1, 2 and 5, 5 and 2, 3 and 4, 4 and 3. Now for the 11, can you tell me? Give me for the 11, what are the options I have to get a total 11? Now the options are less هنا على ال 11. ما عندي 10 أنا. how can I say 10 and 1? هل الداي فيها 10؟ 6 and 5 صح، و 5 and 6 صح. في شيء ثاني يعطيني 11؟ خلاص those are all the options عندنا. فإن ال B كم؟ 2. وإن ال A كم؟ 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. ال A happen in 6 times وال B happen in 2 times. Okay? So we can say in the probability A is what? ايش probability A؟ 6 على 36. و probability B is 2 على 36. صح؟ اوكي. الكويستشن يقول لي or يعني union، يعني يبغى B A union B. now A B disjoint ولا لا؟ A B disjoint ولا لا؟ مفصولين ولا لا؟ they are disjoint لأن it cannot be total 7 or total 11 صح؟ ما يصير نفس الوقت total 7 or 11. so it's a probability A plus probability ال B. عندي probability A وعندي probability B. so just add them together you get the result. the result is this. just add probability A with the probability B. this will give you the result that you want. so 6 over 3 36 and 2 over 36 it's 8 over 36. so the result is 8 over 36. as you can see, if you simplify it is 2 over 9. clear? clear? okay, good. Now for the union of three example, we say that the probability of A union B union C, it's a probability A لحالها plus probability B plus probability C minus probability A intersect B minus probability A intersect C minus probability B intersect C minus probability A intersect B intersect C. For example, let me simply give you the three sets here. The intersection one, this is my B, this is my C, and here is my A. In my A, I will have 1, 2, 3, and in my B, 4, 5, and in my C, 6, and 7. Okay, 8 is here, and 9 is here. Okay, take a picture of this example. Try to find the probabilities here. From this example, you can get the probabilities. so probability union, probability الأولاني اللي هو 4. okay, the outcome هنا عندي number from 1 to 9. so n of s is what? the overall. are you with me? no? hello? the overall in my set how many elements عندي? how many elements I have? عندي الأرقام من 1 إلى 9. so I have 9 numbers here. okay, so my NS is 9. probability of A is 4 over 9. probability of B 4 over 9. probability of C is 5 over 9, and so on. apply the rule in that set, you get the result that you want. use this example to apply the rule. okay, in the following example, John is going to graduate from an industrial engineering department in university by the end of the semester. After being interviewed at 2 companies he likes, he assesses that his probability of getting an offer from company A is 0.8. so to get an offer from company A, his probability is 0.8. his probability of getting offer from company B is 0.6. so to get an offer from company B, his probability is 0.6. and his probability to get an offer from both companies is 0.5. Okay, so the thing is the probability of A get offer from A is 0.8. Probability to get an offer from company B is 0.6. from both. ايش معنى from both؟ ايش يعني from both؟ not the union. لا، it's the intersection. both يعني and، صح ولا لا؟ كلمة both نفس كلمة and. so it's intersection actually. معناها probability of A union B is 0.5. هذه الانبوتس اللي عندي. Now the question is, in A, what is the probability he will get at least one offer from these two companies؟ ايش يعني at least one offer؟ يعني على الأقل one offer، يعني offer from A, offer from B, or offer from A and B. This is what؟ لما أقول at least one offer، يعني يا عنده offer from A يا offer from B أو offer من A ومن ال B. This is what؟ يا من ال A يا من ال B يا من ال A and B. يعني قاعدة أتكلم عن ال A union B actually. At least one offer معناها he's asking for the union. I know the union rule. It is a probability A, probability B, minus a probability intersection. عندنا intersection in this case. عندنا case when he's getting offer from A will be مع بعض في نفس الوقت، صح ولا لا؟ I have all the values. Probability A is 0.8, probability B is 0.6, probability intersection is 0.5. Do the sum and subtraction here, you will get the result is 0.9. so the result is 0.9 here. Okay, now in B, what's the probability he will get an offer from only one company? From only one company, how to think about it? نرسم company A, company B. From only one company يعني يا إما من الكمباني A أو من الكمباني B، بس مش من الاثنين نفس الوقت، صح؟ إما من ال A إما من ال B but not both at the same time, only from one company. Okay? So we can think about it as a probability of A intersect complement B plus probability B intersect A complement. What is this part? This part here is A intersect B complement, and this part here is B intersect A complement. If you go back to the slide here, one of the rules that we have was the probability of A intersect B complement. It's equal to probability A minus the probability of the intersection. Using this one here, probability A minus the intersection, probability B minus the intersection, you get this result after doing all the addition and the subtraction. Okay? You are all with me? Is it clear? Hello? Good. Now, one more example about the probabilities. We have a probability that automobile mechanic will serve 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or 8 or more cars on any given work day, respectively 0.12, 0.19, 0.28. What's the probability that it will serve at least 5 cars on his next day at work. What does it mean? Probability of him serving 3 is 0.12. Probability of him serving 4 is 0.19. This is what does they say here. Probability serving 5, 6, 7, 8 and more is 0.07. So those are all the probabilities we have. The question, what is the probability he will serve at least 5 cars? إيش يعني at least 5? Can you tell me what does it mean at least 5? يعني على الأقل 5. يعني 5 or more صح؟ بالضبط 5 and more. 5 and more يعني 5 و6 و7 8 and more. عندي 4 أشياء to add, so add the 4 of them, or you can think about it as the complement of 5 and more. لو قلت إن the event that at least 5 cars served, then we can find the probability of E by finding the probability of 1 minus the complement of E. What's the complement of E is less than 5. يعني 1 minus less than 5, which is 3 and 4. Add 3 and 4, 0.12 and 0.19. This is 0.31. Subtract from the 1 to get the probability of 5 or more. Or you can just add 0.28 and 0.24 and 0.10 and the 0.07. This will give you the same result, which is 0.69. Okay, this will give you the same answer here. Clear? Okay. Pay attention to this example here. We have an electrical system consists of 4 components, as in the figure here. The system will work. We have machines here, connected machines. Machine A, machine B, machine C, and machine D. شايفين الرسمة؟ The system work. If A work, B work, then C or D work. ال A لازم تشتغل، ال B لازم تشتغل، بعدين يا C يا D يشتغل عادي عشان النظام يمشي. Okay? So system work if component A, B work, and either of components C or D works. One of them work is fine for me. A and B, C or D then. صح ولا لا؟ Either C or D معناها C or D هنا. Now the reliability here, or a probability of that this machine will work of each component is also shown in the figure. Fine. Now the probability is shown here. The question is find me the probability that the entire system will work. The entire system will work if A work and B work and C or D work. So this is how we write it. It's the probability of A and B and C or D. بالضبط intersection and union. Now there is a one thing that we will take later, but they are using it actually here. Now the events, 2 events are said to be, where is that one? Independent here. A, let me write it, later we will take it. Independent يعني مستقلين عن بعض. If probability A intersect B is equal to probability of the product. In general, this is not correct. In general, that intersection is not same as the multiplication. But in case they are independent يعني مش معتمدين على بعض، يعني مستقلين. Now in my example, if A work, this will not affect B. ما له علاقة في إن B work، ما له علاقة في إن C work، ما له علاقة في إن D work. So we can say that all of them are independent here. So the intersection here can just change to be multiplication. So instead of writing intersection, I'm gonna write it as a multiplication. Clear the first step? واضح? Because they are independent. How I know they are independent? Because none of them affect the other one. So we can just change the intersection to be multiplication here. Then I have a probability A, I have a probability B, but I don't have a probability the union of C and D. So we can just change the union to be 1 minus a probability of C union D dash. And instead of a probability of C union D, I'm gonna write it 1 minus probability the complement of C union D. Now if you remember when we talked about the De Morgan's law last time, this can be changed to C dash, D dash, and the union changed to intersection. ليش I want to change it to intersection? عشان again we can change this to be a product here. So changing the intersection to a product here. Now I have the probability A, I have probability B, probability C dash. Now probability C dash is what? What's the probability of C dash? It is 1 minus probability C. What is the probability of D dash? It's the complement of D. So 1 minus the probability of D. Okay? So we can change the B dash and the C dash with 1 minus, and substitute everything that you have, and the probability A, and the probability B, and the probability C, and probability D. Substitute everything that you have and find the result. This is the result that you will get here. Okay? Is it clear? The thing is that we use that the intersection is the multiplication. The intersection is not multiplication in general. It is in case of independent. Okay? They are independent because none of them affecting the other one. So we can apply the intersection thing. The conditional probability, conditional يعني شرطي, يعني under a conditional, under a condition here. Probability that B event B happen under condition that A happen. A probability when I choose مثلا a student, a probability that a student is a female that study ITC. So the condition here معناها B given A. This is how we read it usually. So A under condition B, we read it as A given B. يعني A happen under the condition that B happen. Okay? The conditional probability of B under the condition that A happen is the probability of the intersection of AB divided by the probability of the second one, probability of A. Provided that B is greater than 0, يعني I don't want A to be 0. It makes sense because we don't divide by a 0 in math. So this is the rule that we have. If in an experiment AB can both occur also if we multiply here. If we multiply B, probability of B under condition A with the probability A, this will equal to probability A intersect B. Okay, also we know that probability of the intersection equal probability A multiply with the probability of B under the condition of A. Okay, put this in your mind. We will apply it here in the following example. We have the table. Have a look at the table here. In the table we have a male, we have a female, the male can be employed or unemployed. The female as well can be employed and unemployed. We must, whenever we have a table like that, you must have a total. Okay, the total of employed is 600, unemployed is 300, total of the male is 500, total of the female is 400. The overall total of the people or the persons we have here is 900. It is 500 and 400 is equal to 900. So I know that NS اللي هي الكابيتال N يعني is 900. The overall that we have is 900. We must put this in our mind before we start solving. Okay? If a male is selected at random, find the probability that a man is chosen given that he's an employee. I want it to be a man, يعني a male, that is employee that I call E. So I want that it is a man given, after the word given, employee, that he's an employee. So this is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for probability of man or male given that he's an employee. This is a conditional. I know that this is a probability of M intersect E divided by probability of the second one, يعني probability of E. Now male intersect the employee from the table. How much I have from the table here? How much we have? Male that is an employee. بالضبط. Male and employee in the same time we have 460. And the probability of employee only. Employee, how many employee I have in general? بالضبط. Employee in general I have a 600. So it is 460 على 600. Yeah, عادي male and female, but what I care about is كلمة الemployee بغض النظر it's male or female. It is 600. كم employee عندي؟ عندي 600 بغض النظر male or female. Okay, so it is 460 زي ما انتم شايفين equal to 23 على 30, which end the solution, which end the solution. Okay, معي؟ actually أنا بس استخدمت 460 اللي هي كم واحد عندي. المفروض إنها 460 على التوتال اللي هي 900 على 600 على 900. بس 900 cancel the 900 I end up with the same thing 460 على 600. So directly إن إحنا we choose the numbers هنا. Okay. هنا الأور قاعد يقول لنا in general how to find it. Okay. So this is how we solve it. Yeah, they divided by 900, then they divided everything over everything, so the 900 cancel the 900, we end up with 460 على 600. معي؟ أنا في probability لكل واحد فيهم بقسم على 900. ال 900 بتتكنسل مع بعض، so يبقى عندي بس النمبر.